Within the world of NLP, we talk a lot about strategies, and strategies is something really important when it comes to a weight loss journey. So I just wanted to run through a little bit about what that means and how that could be recognized in your own journey. So this definition of a strategy is a specific repeated sequence of internal and external experiences which consistently produce a specific outcome. So it's our reaction to events, essentially, is what it is. And our human experience is an endless series of internal representations. So I'm not going to go too much into like the deep dive of NLP. But to deal with this and these endless sequences, we really need to slow down the process and contextualize it in terms of the outcome that is achieved. So if, let's say, you are my client and you are on a weight loss journey and you've got this bad habit or this thing that you do on autopilot without even actually realizing it, if a client is repeating a strategy that is interfering with your weight loss journey, we need to break that down, and we need to break it down into a pattern. So the first thing we need to do is discover the person's strategy. What is that pattern? So what happens first? And then what happens next, until we find to the point where that strategy or pattern, where it is unresourceful, which means it's not helping you, it's at that point when that decision is made to an unhelpful action. So this might be accompanied by an emotion that is driving that decision or that choice. So what we need to do is change. And as with anything, change is something that, you know, a lot of us find uncomfortable, we resist, it stretches us, it challenges us. But we also know that without that necessary change work, it's very difficult to get the results you want. So it's embracing this change, and it's helping to recognize that the unresourceful pattern, the habit that has been there, and the change that is causing the problem, it can be done just by having a conversation and tracking back to going, oh, you know, whenever I get home from work, I unwind with a bottle of wine. So it's figuring out how you get to that point where needing to unwind and the only solution is having a bottle of wine. So it's everything that we do, and strategies involve everything we do. Every decision that we make, there is a strategy behind the decision that we make, and we are totally unaware of this. This isn't like, oh, here's my strategy for making a cup of tea, and here's, you know, we run on autopilot, and for the most part we are completely unaware of it. So strategies involve everything that we do. It's all of our daily activity is generated and maintained by strategies. Whether or not we finish what we do is governed by the strategy. So the results that we see in life can be backtracked, so we can figure out, oh, what was I doing and how did that work? Obviously, I'm doing this as a very surface level. So the steps of strategy will follow a representational system. And what I mean by a representational system, it is things we hear, things we see, and things we feel. Yes, sometimes we'll be able to taste things, and we're using our kinesthetics and our sight, sound, touch, etc. But for the most part, it's by things that we see, hear and feel. And I just wanted to kind of give you an example of what a strategy could look like. So the strategy of someone who persistently eats from the fridge as soon as they get in from work. They come in and they go straight to the fridge. There is a reason, there is a strategy as to why that is happening. So what we need to do is we need to backtrack and go, well, how come is it that you're coming home and immediately going to the fridge? What is causing that response? So let's rewind a little bit. So we're driving home from work, and we're feeling okay. It's not part of the strategy. We're feeling okay. We're in a good mood. We pull up onto the driveway, we park the car, and you might notice the lights are on. All the lights are on in the house. Or maybe the bins haven't been put out yet and it's bin day, or maybe bin day's gone and everyone's walked past the empty bins and haven't put them back to where they belong. Something along that line. So all of a sudden you start to feel a bit irritated, but you probably don't even notice. It's just kind of like something that you're aware of. You walk through the door. The minute you walk through the door, bags, shoes, stuff everywhere, and you just kind of like get that, oh gosh, if the hallway's looking like this, the rest of the house is probably going to be a complete tip. So you can feel that stress rising, and it's coming more out of a unconscious awareness into your conscious, like you're really kind of becoming aware that actually this is starting to irritate you. So as you're going into the kitchen, you are having that narrative in your mind of like, oh, no one helps me around here. Why is all this here? It's not that difficult to put their shoes or coats away. Why am I doing everything? That conversation that we can do. And it's at that point when we're having that kind of like negative narrative of running through events where we've got that kind of like self-talk, that our stress just hits. And before we know it, we are feeling rubbish, we're feeling bad, we're annoyed, we're frustrated. And this could very easily lead to the decision of, well, I'm just going to go to the fridge. Well, I'm in a bad mood now. That's it. I'm taken for granted, no one's respecting the house or anything, that's it. And that's our response. So that is a strategy, being completely unaware most of the time. So it's now having that awareness of going, right, okay, well, I'm understanding that's how I'm responding to certain situations. And that might be like, having a family meeting and say, guys, I'd really do with some help here. Is it too difficult to put your bags away, to put your shoes away? Is it all right if I, assign this chore for you to do so that you can bring the bins in? It's doing things in a different way rather than allowing those things to happen and realizing that actually there's a trigger. I mean, those things might still happen. They could still, the lights are left on, the bins are out, the hallway's a mess, but it's how you respond to it. And the response maybe at the moment has been, oh, well, sod it. I'm going to have a glass of wine, or I'm going to have a biscuit, or I don't care. It's like recognizing, well, actually, that's not going to help me. That is not a helpful or resourceful strategy, because every time I get frustrated or annoyed, or that, is my response always going to be, oh, I'm just going to come off plan. So it's having that awareness and thinking, right, okay, I recognise that's something I do. So now that I recognise that that's something I do, I need to think about how I'm going to respond differently. And it's all this learning, it's this new way of, it's a new approach. And yes, it does mean change. Yes, it does mean challenging. And it's something that we will, work on every time that your default response is, well, I'm just going to have this, whatever it is. It's stopping yourself and having that accountability of going, actually, hold on, I recognise what I'm about to do here. That's not going to help me. And there's no point retaliating to these situations, because, the only thing it's going to, the only impact it's going to have is a negative one on me. And we don't want that. We don't want to consciously have a negative impact on our own journey. That's not what we're doing. And I know, for the most part, we have been doing it unconsciously, but this is about raising it into our awareness so that we recognize these patterns. And what we can do is, when we recognize them, is establish a new strategy, a new response. So hopefully that's helped. I've really enjoyed doing this NLP diploma. I am a NLP mindset coach, but doing the weight loss specific diploma was a real insight, and it's something that I support my clients with a lot, which is something I'm able to offer to you as a one-to-one diet consultant and also as a qualified NLP mindset coach with a weight loss diploma. So if you've got any questions regarding the one-to-one diet, how I can help support you, I am a virtual consultant, which means I can support you no matter where you are based in the UK. If you are local to me in the Bristol area, in the North Somerset area, then I am now offering face-to-face appointments. And if you'd like more information on that, please do message me. I hope this has helped. And next time that you come home stressed or you're irritated by something that you've seen, watch out for it and see what your instant reaction would have been, and then challenging yourself to have a different reaction. I'd love to hear how you get on. So I hope you're well, and I'll catch up with you soon.